So I've never been shy about my affinity for Elgato products. Their capture cards have served me well for nearly a decade at this point. The Elgato Cam Link still lets me reliably use my Sony camcorder as a webcam for all of my streams, and the Elgato Stream Deck itself has pretty much stayed a must-have for anybody who does streams on a regular basis, be it video game or otherwise. But there's one product in the Elgato product family that I had yet to try out, and that is the Elgato Key Light Air. The Key Light Air is the little brother to the slightly larger and slightly brighter Elgato Key Light. They are robust, compact LED lighting solutions for streamers, particularly streamers who may not have a ton of space around their desktop to accommodate a traditional studio lighting setup. Now, I've talked about the different lights that I use here on the channel before, and while they're all great for the individual reasons that I use them, they're not always well suited to filming or streaming in tight spaces. So today let's go ahead and take a closer look at the Elgato Key Light Air and its features to see if it makes sense for your setup. And first, let's take a look at what actually comes in the box. The Key Light Air comes with the light itself, a very heavy base, power cables, and that's about it. Assembly is super quick and easy thanks to a gigantic instructional insert that lays out putting together the stand and how to set up the Key Light Air to work on your local network using the Elgato app. The app allows you to adjust both brightness and color temperature. It also allows you to set the power on behavior to be either the default brightness and temperature settings that you define or the ones that came from the factory, or to set it to just use whatever the last settings were that were active. The app is perfectly fine and functional for the main things you need it for, turning on the light, adjusting the brightness, and also the color temperature, although I was a little bit surprised to see that it did not have functionality where you could sort of save your own presets, kind of like you do in the Philips Hue app, but hey, maybe that's something that they will add in a future update. Of course, more practically speaking, if you are looking to make midstream adjustments, the Stream Deck is an excellent way to do that, and it's fully supported with the key light, so you can turn the lights on and off as well as adjust brightness, which is really handy if you just want dedicated hardware buttons to fine-tune your lighting in the middle of a stream. Of course, you don't have to use it only for streaming. It's actually an excellent light for filming as well, and I can say that because I'm using it right now in conjunction with the same Spectra LED 9 light that I talked about in last week's video. And while the Spectra LED over here is a wonderful light, it doesn't give me the ability to adjust the temperature, and the only way that I can really adjust the brightness is either using the control directly on the body of the light itself, or by using a wired remote to do so. Suffice it to say that if you're sitting in front of a camera like I am now and you want to make fine adjustments, it's way more convenient just to do that from an app on your phone than to try to make physical adjustments while you're in the middle of filming. Speaking of brightness and temperature, it accommodates a range for both, and also there's some really good diffusion on this light, so you're not going to get any incredibly harsh shadows on your face if you have to sit very close to it. So right now I'm being lit by the Generate Spectra LED over here on my left, and I'm being lit by the Elgato Key Light Air over here on my right, which is serving as my key light. So since I am sitting here and I've got the app up here on my phone right now, I'm going to go ahead and make some adjustments just so you can kind of see what the light is like. So I'm going to have the Spectra LED on over here as a fill. Key light over here is the Elgato Key Light Air. So I'm going to make adjustments, so you'll see this side start to change more dramatically, but right now it's somewhere in the middle in terms of color temperature, but I'm going to go ahead and drop it down to its coolest just so you can see here. This is the coolest setting for the light, and that's about 7,000 Kelvin, I think. And then if I bump it all the way to the warmer side of the spectrum to about 2,900 Kelvin, you can see it gets much more orange. Like, this is a very, very warm look. So I'm going to put it back somewhere in the middle so it's a little bit more even, I think. Now, right now, the brightness is set to about 10%. But if I want to bump it all the way up to 100, you can see this thing gets pretty bright, and I'm not going to leave it there because that would not be consistent with my camera settings. But then you can bring it back down to, more manageable, like 20%, then all the way down looks about like that, which still has a little bit of light if you want some more dramatic shadows, I guess, or whatever. But yeah, so I mean, you can see there's definitely a lot of flexibility you have in terms of quickly being able to adjust things. I'm just, sort of swiping left and right, going cool, warm, full brightness, lowest brightness, so that should give you some idea of exactly the flexibility that you have with this light. And now I'll go ahead and kill the other light just so you can see only light coming from this and then the colored ambient lights that I have. Alright, so if we only had this light to work with, obviously this is a very dramatic look, but I'll go ahead and bump up the brightness a little bit. So this is at 2,900 with it all the way up. You can see it's super warm. Now I'm going to go ahead and drop the brightness all the way down, totally dark. We'll put it about 20%. Maybe more like 30 or 40. And let's take the warm and bring it back down closer to like the 6,000 Kelvin. And you can see that's a little bit more evenly lit. And then I'll go ahead and bring this one back on so you can see the difference. So now bringing the Spectra LED back into the equation, you can see it sort of fills in all the shadows over here, and then I've still got the Elgato Key Light over here, and again, you can just make adjustments from your phone, which is super handy. Now, if I had one complaint about the Key Light Air, it would be that the cable track that holds the wire behind it is actually a little bit too snug for my liking, but honestly, that is kind of a weird complaint to even make, to say that the thing that holds the cable is too good at holding the cable. In fact, it's a really great feature if you just want to set it and forget it and you just want to make sure that all the wires are cleanly hidden behind, the actual stand. But for my purposes, where I'm using this not only for streaming but also for filming things, it is something to be cognizant of, and you may want to secure the wire on the back of it using like a Velcro tie or something like that instead of shoving it into the cable track and then sort of peeling it back out whenever you want to move the light around or adjust the height. Now the stand that comes with it is incredibly sturdy, it's got a very heavy base, and on top of that it is height adjustable, which is a really nice feature. And the light actually attached to the stand with a ball head so that you can make slight adjustments if you need to. All around, I would have to say I'm incredibly satisfied with this light so far. It provides even adjustable light, the stand itself is also really adjustable, and it's beefy enough to stay planted on a desk wherever you put it if you don't want it moving around too much. The Key Light Air is about $129. I'll go ahead and drop a link below if you want to order one for you if it makes sense. Now if you do have any questions or if there's something I didn't cover well enough about the light, please let me know in the comments below and I'll be happy to answer those. As always, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video, I always appreciate it. And if you are new here, please consider subscribing to get new videos like this usually on Thursdays, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.